I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume, so I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. So we continue in the Gospels again. Christ is still in Galilee, primarily in the Capernaum area. It's kind of where he is now centering his ministry. Doing a lot of miracles. He preaches a lot. He's taught a lot of parables. Has a lot of couple of discourses that we've read. He did take a trip out east to cast the devils into the swine, but we're back in Capernaum. And we read the healing or the raising of the daughter of Jairus and a few other, the healing of the two blind men, healing of the deaf and the dumb. But we continue now. This video, we are going to read similar accounts in both Matthew and Mark. In this video, we have a Joseph Smith translation. Now, what the Joseph Smith translation is, this is a translation or correction done by Joseph Smith to restore those passages that have been lost or corrupted over the years. This is going to be first Matthew chapter 13, we're reading verses 53 to 58. Now, this is just after the parables in Matthew. So remember that Matthew is not written in an exact chronological order. And it came to pass that when Jesus had finished these parables, he departed thence. And when he was come into his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished, and said, Whence hath this man this wisdom, and these mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary? And his brethren James and Joseph, and Simon and Judas? And his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then hath this man all these things? And they were offended in him. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and in his own house. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. So he is once again returning to his own country. Now this I believe to be the city of Nazareth, which is his hometown. Remember, he preached there once, very early on. They rejected him. He then went around preaching in all the area of Galilee. Then he came back, possibly, and preached here. And this is one of the possible locations, anyways, for the healing of the paralytic man. And now we are once again returning to Nazareth, where he is again rejected. Now, these are the people, the first time we preached it is not this Joseph's son? And it's again, is this not the son of the carpenter? We know his mother, we know his brothers and his sister. How dare he set himself up as the Son of God? They are offended that somebody that they knew and grew up with, they saw grow up from a child, is claiming this authority. They still haven't changed. But let us look at the Joseph Smith translation here. Nothing much here. In verse 33, instead of that when Jesus finished these parables, just when Jesus finished these parables, we remove the at. In verse 54, synagogue is pluralized to synagogues, and then whence hath this man this wisdom is changed to whence hath this Jesus this wisdom. Minor corrections, minor clarifications, and we have the same thing in 57. Offended in him is corrected to offended at him. Minor grammatical corrections. So now let us turn to Mark. Mark chapter 6, verses 1 through 6. And he went out from thence and came into his own country, and his disciples followed him. And when the Sabbath day was come, he began to teach in the synagogue, and many hearing him were astonished, saying, From whence hath this man these things, and what wisdom is this which is given unto him, that even such mighty works are wrought by his hands? Is not this the carpenter, the son of Mary, the brother of James and Joseph, and of Judah and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. But Jesus said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, but in his own country, and among his own kin, and in his own house. And he could there do no mighty works, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folk, and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief, and he went round about the villages, teaching. Almost the exact same thing. I do want to say here, it says he could not do many mighty works here. The people just didn't have the faith. Even Christ, he doesn't heal if you don't have the faith. He did heal a few sick people, so there were some people who had faith, but not many. And then it says he left the city and went into all the villages. So what this is talking about is you would have the main city of Nazareth, and then you would have like the farming communities that would be out in the countryside. The villages where you have the farmers would all kind of build their houses close together and form a little village, and then go from there out to farm the land and come back for the night. And then you'd have the city where the marketplaces were and everything. And so he goes out to the villages because the city is not believing. The city isn't listening. Now, let us see if there's any significant corrections in Mark here. Doesn't look like much. In verse 1, his disciples follow him, corrected to followed him. In verse 2, it says that many hearing him were astonished, corrected to many hearing were astonished at his words. And then later on in that same verse, which is changed to that. In verse 4, the word but in his own country is corrected to save in his own country. In verse 5, there are a number of grammatical corrections, but it makes it flow better. So this is what it says here in the Joseph Smith translation. And he could do no mighty works there, save that he laid his hands upon a few sick folks, and they were healed. Again, no change in meaning, grammatical corrections, grammatical updates, just flows a little better. We'll leave that here, and we are going to now turn to Matthew, so I will see you in the next video.